Hi guys, this is Ken again. Today I will be talking about the difference between jidoshi and tadoshi. So for those who have studied, who are using Minano Nihongo as your textbook, you realize that a lot of you might have actually problems differentiating between jidoshi and tadoshi. And when do I use a jidoshi? When do I use a tadoshi? Okay, so in this lesson, we will be going through. This video is specially done for one of my acquaintance who is currently studying a language school. I won't reveal the name, you know who you are. Okay, so let's start. Okay. So let's talk about first the difference between jidoshi and tadoshi. Jidoshi to tadoshi no chigai. Okay, so as we know that jidoshi, okay, why is it called a jidoshi? For those who are Chinese literate, you know that jido and 自动, okay, something that is automatic, does not require a human to do the action. I.e. to say, these are all automatic actions. Okay, before the verb is usually a ga. Okay, so for example, Nihongo ga wakarimasu. Okay, you don't need to force your brain to understand Japanese. Your brain understands it by itself. Okay, doa ga akimasu. Okay, the door opens by itself. Okay, there's no human action that is doing the action. Okay, next we move on to tadoshi, transitive verbs. Okay, it requires a human to do the action, i.e. to say they are not automatic actions. Okay, before the verb is usually a o. Okay, o. For example, gohan o tabemasu, eiga o mimasu. Okay, so a good way to identify a jidoshi and a tadoshi. So we start off with jidoshi first. Okay, the must form, okay, or the linear for those who are in my class, okay, it usually ends with a e column. For example, akimasu, okay, the linear or the must form will be aki. Okay, shimarimasu, okay, will be shimari. Wakarimasu, wakari. Okay, so take note that this way is not 100% accurate. Okay, in exam, if you do encounter difficulties, you should try your best to remember, to recall the verb before attempting to use this method. Okay, next let's move on to tadoshi. Okay, tadoshi, okay, the must form or the linear usually end with a column. Okay, for example, akemasu, it will be ake. Shimemasu will be shime. Okay, so let's take a look at an example. Okay, doa ga akimasu. So there is no human action involved. So in this case, this is a jidoshi. Okay, as earlier on I mentioned in my slide number 2, okay, that for jidoshi, the verb, okay, the particle before the verb is usually ga. Okay, for tadoshi, the particle before the verb is usually o, as we can see here in this slide. Watashi wa doa o akemasu. Okay, so there is actually a human action involved. Okay, however, demo. Okay, do you know that there are some verbs that is both a jidoshi and a tadoshi? Okay, one example of such a verb, okay, is tobira. Tobira ga hirakimasu. Tobira o hirakimasu. So hirakimasu is both a jidoshi and tadoshi. However, the lucky thing is that in Japanese, the such verbs, okay, which is both a jidoshi and a tadoshi, is very, very little. So we can kind of ignore it. Okay, next, okay, let's take a look at differences between te imasu, okay, which you learn in Minano Nihongo chapter 14, and te imasu, which is what you learn in Minano Nihongo chapter 29. Okay, so let's take a look at the one on the right hand side of the slide. Okay, te imasu. 今何をしていますか？ご飯を食べています。So you are expressing an action that you are still doing. Okay, you are still doing. 2番、今何をしていますか？日本語を教えています。I'm teaching Japanese. ね、a current situation that is ongoing. So usually this kind of verbs, okay, this kind of verbs that are ongoing, we call them 継続動詞. Okay, 継続動詞. In English, it's called verbs of continuation. Okay, but for now, I think at your level, you don't need to know the difference between what's a 継続動詞, but what you can think of as in the action, as long as it's an action that will require some time to complete. For example, 食べます、飲みます、教えています. All this, it requires some time to complete. So in this case, all these kind of verbs are what we call 継続動詞, verbs of continuation. Okay, what we learned in chapter 29, the ています. For example, 箸が壊れていますね。A、この前の台風で壊れたんです。2、鍵がかかっていますよ。どこか出かけたのかもしれませんね。Okay, so what you use in ています for chapter 29, okay, is what the verbs that we call is called what we call 瞬間動詞ね、瞬間動詞. So 瞬間動詞 are verbs of momentum. Example, okay, 壊れました. Okay, once it starts, once it's broken, once the 箸 is broken, it's broken. Okay, there's no state. There's no it doesn't go through a continuation. Okay, and then 鍵がかかっていますね。いますよ。Okay, the key, the door is locked. Okay, the door is locked. Okay, so do take note. Okay, the difference for ています in chapter 14 is an ongoing action. Okay, something that is ongoing. Whereas what you learn in chapter 29, okay, is we are talking about a state. Okay, a state. Okay, a state of what happens. Okay, so now, okay, let's take a look at some of the example sentence. For example, 窓が開いています。エアコンがついています。ゴミが落ちています。椅子や本がきれいに並んでいません。Okay, so you guys might be asking me, Sensei, what about であります? Okay, what we learned in Minano Nihongo chapter 30. Okay, であります okay, expressing a state of action caused by a human. For example, okay, you put a piece of paper on the table. テーブルに、紙を置きます。Okay, so you start action. You're going to put the piece of paper on the table. Okay, while you are putting the piece of paper on the table, okay, テーブルに紙を置いています。So you, from before the start to the end of the state, okay, you will be using テーブルに紙を置いています。Okay, after you have finished putting the paper, okay, it will go into a state whereby テーブルに紙が置いてあります。So, because you are talking about a state, you cannot use O. O is only for actions. Okay, you will use が in this case. Okay, some example sentence. 窓が閉めてあります。エアコンがつけてあります。椅子や本が並べてあります。ゴミが捨ててあります。部屋がきれいに掃除してあります。テーブルクロスが広げてあります。Sorry, it's テーブルクロスが広げてあります。Okay, so let us recap. What's the difference between ています and てあります? Okay, so ています which is used by 自動詞 plus います is a natural state or state not caused by humans. So for example, when a ball has been thrown to the window, Okay, if you refer to your Mina no Nihongo, the grammar notes, okay, they mention that the ball has been thrown to the window. Okay, the ball hits the window and then there's a crack on the window. Okay, so in that case, you will use 自動詞 定form います。For 他動詞あります okay, is talk about a state of action caused by humans. For example, the earlier on, the example which I have shared earlier on, you put the paper on the table and then after that, the paper, you're talking about the state that the paper is on the table. Okay, so it's about 10 minutes. Okay, I hope I have given a good understanding of the whole concept. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to put a note on the YouTube video. Okay, and I'll get back to you. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.